November 1918. The scent of the recent war still lingered in the air, the First World War having just ended. In New Orleans, a city where legends intertwine with history, an unusual event occurred. In one of the houses, a child was born. His mother was dying, and only managed to ask her husband to take care of the baby. Upon seeing the child, Thomas felt fear and doubt, deciding to get rid of him. At first, he wanted to throw the baby into the drain, but he was startled and fleeing, left the infant on the steps of a nursing home, leaving some money there and hiding around the corner. 2 nursing home employees found the baby. When one of the women took him in her arms, she was overcome with brief astonishment. However, she carried the little one to a room and introduced him to the others.
He's known as Benjamin.
At the beginning of Benjamin's life, they were full of surprise and rejection. His unusual appearance frightened the nursing home residents. But among them was Queenie, a woman with a kind heart and boundless patience. She didn't turn away from Benjamin, nor was she frightened by his appearance. She saw in him not a monster, but a defenseless child in need of love and care. Queenie became a mother to him, caring for him as if he were her own. Curiosity awakened in Benjamin. He longed to explore the world, but Queenie always stopped him, warning him of the dangers. In the nursing home, Benjamin found not only care but also friendship. The elderly, having lived long and interesting lives, shared their stories with him, told of love and loss, of war and peace, of hope and despair. He learned to read and discovered music. One day, when Mama Queenie was going to church, a miracle happened. The pastor instilled confidence in Benjamin, and he stood up on his own. A friend also appeared, who offered Benjamin to experience freedom outside the home. They took a tram to the park and spent most of the day there, talking. Eventually, the friend leaves him, which opens up independence for Benjamin. On Thanksgiving Day in 1930, Benjamin met someone who turned his whole life upside down. It was a little girl named Daisy. Her piercing blue eyes were imprinted in his memory. She was playful, full of life, and most importantly, she was not afraid of Benjamin. He spent all his time with Daisy. They listened to bedtime stories together, and they loved it very much. Daisy and Benjamin became inseparable friends. One night, Daisy woke Benjamin up and suggested sharing secrets, where he revealed his secret, that he was not an old man at all.
I'm not as old as I look.
That was all he managed to say, as Daisy's mom caught them. Benjamin began to notice that with each passing day he was becoming stronger and younger. He discovered that hair had started to grow on his body, and not only hair. When Benjamin was quite strong, he decided to sit in the port, watching the ships sail by. There he received an offer to work as a sailor on a tugboat, which Benjamin accepted and met Captain Mike, a man with a stern appearance but a kind heart. Captain Mike became Benjamin's mentor, friend, and guide in the maritime world. He taught him the basics of seamanship, but did not shy away from the dirty work, which he passed on to him. Benjamin was not upset about the dirty work. On the contrary, he was glad, especially since he was paid for it. During the voyage, Captain Mike learns from Benjamin that he has never been with a woman, which greatly upset him. He promises him an unforgettable experience. Upon returning to the port, they went to a brothel. Mike confessed that he never wanted to work on his father's tugboat, but dreamed of becoming an artist. Showing Benjamin his drawings, he led him to the women. Some of them frowned, but one, taking him by the hand, led him to her room. Benjamin, as well as the woman, awaited a very unusual surprise. Both were surprised and pleased.
Again.
In the same establishment, Benjamin met Thomas Button, the man who turned out to be his father. Thomas offered to give him a ride, and Benjamin agreed. Then he offered a drink, and Benjamin accepted the invitation. Over a glass of brandy, Thomas realized that Benjamin was his son, but chose to remain silent about it. Thomas drove Benjamin home as promised. Benjamin often saw Daisy, and having grown up, they could freely walk together. One day, Benjamin woke Daisy and invited her for a boat ride. Arriving at the port, he woke up Captain Mike and asked him to take them for a ride. to which Mike eventually agreed. One day, Benjamin confronted death. He learned of the passing of his friend and piano teacher, who also helped him to come to terms with the loss of a loved one. After this sad event, Benjamin decided to leave his hometown and embark on a journey by ship. Saying goodbye to Daisy, he promised to send her a postcard, to which he received a request from her.
From everywhere.
Their first stop was a hotel called Winter Palace. There, during his travels, Benjamin met Elizabeth Abbott. Elizabeth was an intelligent and educated woman who had seen a lot of the world. A strong attraction arose between them, and they spent unforgettable nights together, filled with deep conversations, infectious laughter, and passionate love. Elizabeth taught Benjamin to appreciate beauty, to enjoy every moment of life, and not to be afraid of his feelings. She showed him for the first time how to properly drink vodka with caviar. These magical days passed quickly until one evening Benjamin waited in vain for Elizabeth. Returning to his room, he found a note from her expressing her feelings for him. Descending to the crew on the ship, Benjamin learned that Captain Mike was going to war and was offering all those willing to join this venture. Particular attention was drawn to the fact that the cook refused to participate, and then Benjamin volunteered to become the cook on the ship during the hostilities. For a while, they were not directly involved in the fighting, but only towed damaged ships to port. Many of the crew were afraid of the upcoming events, and one of them asked Benjamin to pass on his savings to his family if anything happened to him. And so it came to pass. That same night, they were struck by a barrage of fire in which almost everyone perished. Benjamin kept his promise and sent all the savings to his friend's wife. Returning home from the war, Benjamin first visited his mother, Queenie. She was overjoyed at his return alive and unharmed. Immediately, Queenie introduced him to her daughter, saying that he was her brother. Looking out the window, Benjamin saw Daisy approaching the house and decided to meet her outside. Daisy did not immediately recognize him and was extremely surprised at the meeting. Accepting Benjamin's invitation to dinner, they went to a restaurant where Daisy told him about her professional dancing. After a pleasant evening, they went for a walk in the night park. There, Daisy danced for him and shared her stories. She was clearly fascinated by him and sought closeness, but Benjamin asked her not to do this, admitting that he was constrained by some kind of fear. That same night, Benjamin heard a knock at the door. Opening it, he saw Thomas and they went to a restaurant together. There, Thomas explained how he had inherited his business from his father, a button manufacturing factory, which had prospered during the war. He then revealed his secret, confessing that he was Benjamin's father and told him the story of his mother's death. Benjamin, shocked by these revelations, left Thomas, needing time to think it all over. After a while, Benjamin did accept his father and visited him when he was in great distress. And then the day came when he buried him. Arriving in New York, Benjamin went to the theater, hoping to meet Daisy and expecting that she would be glad to see him. After the performance, Daisy invited him to a party with the troupe. There, seeing her dance and kiss another man, Benjamin became upset and decided to leave. Thus, their paths diverged once again. Returning home, Benjamin continued to live a measured life. Soon, news reached him that Daisy had been in an accident. He immediately went to visit her. There, she confessed that she would no longer be able to dance professionally and did not want him to see her like that. She pushed him away again. After a long period of time, Daisy finally came to her senses. She had rethought everything and now wanted to be with Benjamin. They enjoyed each other while traveling the world. Returning home, Benjamin learned of his mother's death. He buried her and sold his father Thomas's property. They continued to live with Daisy, but she was distressed by the fact that she could no longer dance. Benjamin tried to convince her that this profession could not be long-lasting regardless of whether she was healthy or not. She accepted his words and said that he would never see her like that again. Because of her injury, she decided to become a dance teacher, in which she found freedom and love for Benjamin. In time, Daisy announced that she was pregnant.
I'm pregnant.
They were both happy, but with some anxiety. Benjamin understood that he was becoming younger and would soon become a burden to them. Having lived for several years after the birth of his daughter, Benjamin left them in order not to be a burden. He traveled and kept a diary for his daughter, so that when she grew up, she could understand him. Many years passed, and Benjamin, having become a teenager, came to Daisy's house. He wanted to see them before his inevitable demise due to his unusual aging overtook him. There, he learned his daughter's name.
Caroline?
Daisy admitted that his departure in the past had been the right decision, and that she would not have been able to raise them both. A few more years passed, and Benjamin became quite a boy when Daisy received a phone call. She went to a children's shelter, where she was told that he had been detained by the police. In his backpack, they found a diary in which Daisy was frequently mentioned. That was how they tracked her down. When she met Benjamin, she introduced herself, but he did not remember her. From that day on, she came to the shelter every day and took care of him until his final sleep. That's how Caroline found out about her real father.